Tim Legler, I'm Jim Durham. Glad to have you with us today. For the Cavaliers, Tim, and for LeBron James, it's a case that they didn't back into the playoffs this year.
No, definitely not, Jim. It's very important to understand this team is playing well at the right time of the year, and it's all about the evolution and progression of LeBron James as a leader and the Cavaliers as a franchise. This year, they're going to be in the postseason for the first time since LeBron has been in the league, and you can almost feel a collective sigh of relief in the city of Cleveland because 3 weeks ago, the wheels were off the cart. This team was in free fall, and everybody was saying, oh no, here we go again, another late season collapse. LeBron James took it upon himself to get this thing turned around. They're steamrolling toward the playoffs.
And his 2003 draft classmate, Dwyane Wade, the playoffs, old hat for him. He's never not gone to the playoffs. This will be his third consecutive year. Wade going in 2003 led Miami into the second round, and last year, if he doesn't come up with a rib injury before Game 7 against the Pistons, who knows, they may have gone to the finals last year.
Yeah, this guy's been incredible what he's done this year, because you got to remember Shaquille O'Neal been in and out of the lineup. They've dealt with other injuries to Alonzo Mourning throughout the year, but Dwyane Wade has been the constant amidst all the change. You bring in all those new players, Antoine Walker and Gary Payton and Jason Williams, but Dwyane Wade's been the constant, and this is a guy right now that needs to be healthy headed down the stretch. They need Shaquille O'Neal healthy. If that's the case, this team believes they can dethrone the Detroit Pistons as the Eastern Conference champs and get to the finals.
The Heat do not have Shaquille O'Neal healthy for today's game. He is out. He's developed fluid on his left knee. James Posey also has been added to the inactive list for today's game. Pat Riley has had to juggle his roster today, Tim Legler.
Well, yeah, there's obviously a pretty big void left when Shaquille O'Neal is not out there. They've got to find other ways to generate offense, and obviously they've got the talent. They brought in a lot of guys in the offseason that have scored big numbers throughout their careers, and today you're going to see more active role for guys like Jason Williams and Antoine Walker, Gary Payton. Those guys will be more involved without Shaq on the floor.
Joe Crawford, Scott Wall, and Jack Neese are the officials as the Heat control the opening tap. And it's Jay Will at the point. Here's Wade. Cleveland opening with Snow on Wade, and Wade missing on the perimeter shot. Eric Snow and the Cavs in their first possession. Cleveland 27-10 here at the Q this year, and the Cavaliers 42-29 overall with this 6-game winning streak. Drew Gruden attacking. And there was contact and an offensive foul called on Gooden.
Offensive foul on number 90.
Mike Brown, in his first year as the head coach here with the Cavs, guides them into the playoffs this year.
What a great job he's done, because you know this franchise was facing an awful lot of pressure when they weren't playing well a few weeks ago.
First of the day.
And he's starting to shoot the ball well. You see that smile on his face. You didn't see that smile a couple months ago. They brought him in to improve their three-point shooting. They were the worst in the league last year. They're still near the bottom.
Well, LeBron James already in double figures as the Cavaliers take the 1-point lead on the Heat. LeBron James, I tell you what, this guy is in great company. Oscar Robertson, Michael Jordan, and Jerry West averaging 30 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists, the only guys in NBA history. And listen to this from LeBron James being compared to the greats.
It brings a smile on my face, honestly, because those two guys are the guys that I looked up to growing up. Michael Jordan, Oscar Robertson, and to be in the same sentence, you know, to be in the same breath as two legends, two of the greats to ever play our game. All you can do is smile. That's it. It makes me smile.
You know, he's only 21. Jordan broke in before he was born.
And to say,
so you know he didn't see Oscar Robertson.
He idolized Oscar Robertson growing up, maybe from the old clips, but certainly great company to be in and well-deserving. This guy has just put up numbers since he's been in this league, but it's not about the numbers of LeBron James. It's just about his unselfishness, and now trying to get to the next level. We need a team deep into the playoffs and eventually a championship.
Antoine Walker in the game for the Heat. Payton is out there as well. And Miami on the run as Antoine Walker draws the foul on the way in. But the other thing about LeBron, and we found out this at the All-Star weekend, not this past, but a year ago in Denver. He is very knowledgeable on NBA history. He knows the history of the league. He knows the players, what they did, when they did it. And, you know, he wasn't around to see it, so it's obvious he's been into that NBA history book a little bit.
Yeah, if you look at the way he plays, it's a combination. He's got the new school athleticism, but he's got the old school knowledge of the game, vision and awareness, and his willingness to incorporate other guys. It matters to him what his teammates think of him, and it matters to him that they also are out there, and it's his job to make sure that they perform at their highest level. And you can't say enough about him at 21 to have the kind of maturity he has, the way he goes about his business. Mike Brown said he's got the calmest demeanor he's ever seen in his life. He never changes, and that's why you see LeBron James doing what he's doing every night.
The Heat couldn't get to the shooter out of the corner, and Flip Murray knocked out at 3. First points for Murray today. D. Wade firing on Murray, and Drew Gooden to pick off.
That's the shot you want to try to force Dwyane Wade to shoot. If you can make him shoot an 18-footer off the dribble with a hand up, if he makes it, he makes it, but that's your best bet to defend him.
That was Marshall missing the Walker, nothing doing as on the rebound attempt, Simeon picks up the foul. And they call that foul on Simeon before the clock went off. The officials are discussing, and it'll be free throws down here at the Cleveland end.
LeBron James made that last bucket look so easy. Gets from the right wing to the left side lane to finish. You see Antoine Walker trying to get it up before the horn. Ilgauskas the rebound. Clearly the foul takes place before the horn going off, so Zydrunas Ilgauskas will get a couple free throws coming.
Ilgauskas, an outstanding free throw shooter for the Cavs, and Joe Crawford wants to make sure that time had not expired.
Well, you're going to see Ilgauskas grab the rebound as Wayne Simeon comes around. Contact made with about 0.8, 0.9 left in the quarter.
So the replay that we are looking at is the same one that Joe Crawford is looking at across the way at the scorer's table, and Ilgauskas will be on the line, and they've got 0.3 of a second showing on the clock.
The clock will be reset, and we will continue at the line.
Ilgauskas, who earlier in his career had a lot of injuries, but in the last few seasons played a lot of games here.
Yeah, there was a time when people were wondering if his career was over. He had so many problems with those feet, and anytime as an NBA player you start having problems with your feet and have surgery, you know, just take a look at Grant Hill. He's really never been the same guy since they start cutting on your feet. Ilgauskas is able to really completely turn his career around over the last few years here in Cleveland.
He puts the Cavs up by 1. Now they're showing 1 full second for the quarter, and a 2-point Cleveland lead as the Heat bring it in play and dribble it out. So the first quarter comes to an end. Back and forth they came. Dwyane Wade with 9 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds. And LeBron James, you saw, he's got 12. So Wade and James, the leading scorers after 1. Cleveland's lead is 2. And here's a foul called on Miami, down in the post. It's on Simeon.
And it's interesting, you look at the Miami Heat, and remember, this is a team that went to the Eastern Conference Finals, came within a game of getting to the finals, and now with Dwyane Wade checking back in, they have 1 guy on the floor now that was on the team last year, but a second ago they had 5 new guys out there. Rarely will you see a team go that deep into the playoffs and have the kind of roster turnover that the Heat have had in 1 season.
LeBron James looking and finding Ilgauskas. LeBron splits the double team. Feeds Varajan, and it's finally tipped in. Wait a minute. That's a shot clock violation. I believe the initial shot went over the rim, right?
Let's take a look here.
Basket is good.
Varajan goes up at the first attempt as the shot clock's winding down, and that ball did not hit anything. I think that should have been a shot clock violation. The tip came after the horn, and the ball never hit the rim.
That has given the Cavaliers their 4-point lead. Antoine Walker spins in. Rebounded by Ilgauskas, and here comes James. A look-away feed, intended for Ira Newble and knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Miami.
Right now, Miami's really just pretty much got a steady dose of Antoine Walker trying to create offensively. That was when Wade was on the bench. We'll see if they can get back in rhythm now of making Wade the #1 option like other guys play off of him.
Gary Payton trying to be the initial defender with Shandon Anderson there, and it works for them this time. Walker picking off the pass, a reach-in foul on LeBron James.
We saw LeBron that time backing down in the post. And if there's one area that I don't think the Cavaliers have really utilized LeBron James to the fullest extent, it's as a post-up player. Because if you remember the great teams that they had in LA, you know, Magic Johnson was a guy that very often ran the offense out of the low post. LeBron doesn't do a lot of that, and I think it's something that you will continue to see him develop more and more into his game.
That's Shandon Anderson on a deep 2. Anderson's first points. Keeps the Heat within 2. Miami playing today without Shaquille O'Neal. And there is Ilgauskas with a nice bit of footwork on a spin move to the hoop. Remember, he's 7'3", 260, and he made that move.
And the strategy against him with Wayne Sims.
Haslam has 10.
And Miami came out of that last timeout and went to a little match-up zone. Now they're back to man. They just did it for one possession, but Cleveland was confused and turned the ball over, led to a bucket at the other end by Miami in transition.
Ira Newble handing the ball to Ilgauskas. And it's traveling called on Ilgauskas. They had Pavlovich wide open in the corner for 3.
This had improved vision. We talk about Dwyane Wade runs pick and roll. Haslam diving to the rim, and a great delivery and finish by Haslam is going to get a few more touches today without Shaquille O'Neal and Alonzo Mourning on the floor.
6 assists for Dwyane Wade and no turnovers so far with 7:39 left in the half. You know, there's a guy, and you don't hear his name mentioned very often for most valuable player. But he's certainly, if he were to be, let's say he was chosen most valuable player, I wouldn't argue with him.
No, I mean, it'd be hard to argue with him or any of the other top 4 or 5 contenders in the league. I think Dwyane Wade, part of the problem is he still, believe it or not, lives somewhat in the shadow of Shaquille O'Neal. And people always look at him as relying on Shaq. When you have that much help, sometimes it takes away from your own ability to win an MVP. But you look at these other candidates, and I think my vote would go to Steve Nash. Based on the fact that they've had such a turnover in their starting lineup. 60% of that starting lineup is new, and Stoudemire out, Johnson leaves, Quentin Richardson's gone, and you bring in all new guys, some of whom couldn't even play on other teams, and are having career years in Phoenix, like Boris Diaw and James Jones, Raja Bell, and that's directly attributed to Steve Nash and his ability to incorporate guys into that lineup.
In fact, Nash may be more deserving this year than he was last year.
You certainly could make an argument he's having a better year. And what an amazing run he's had. And Mike D'Antoni deserves a lot of credit for the system that they play and the ability to take new parts and have those guys play at that kind of level. LeBron James certainly is a guy that is on that short list, deservingly so. Where would Cleveland be without him? That's what Mike Brown asked us before the game. It's a hard question to answer. They certainly wouldn't be a playoff team without LeBron James.
The reason Haslam was on the line in that rebound, Fracas, he was fouled by Varejan, and that's the second foul on Anderson Varejan. So after the 2 free throws, the Heat, who were down 5, are back to within 1. Pavlovich draws the crowd in the lane, and it's an offensive foul. Sasha Pavlovich picking it up.
Pavlovich more of a spot-up shooter, a guy that plays better, I think, when LeBron James or Flint Murray is creating and he can spot up and shoot the basketball. But sometimes when they're chest-to-chest with you at the three-point line, you got to try to make a play.
So Miami in possession. The Heat almost turnover-free today. They've turned it over just twice with 7:06 left in the half. Payton guarded by Damon Jones, and the shot clock at 8. Wade blocked by Ilgauskas. Not many guys are long enough to make that play on Dwyane Wade.
No, as athletic as he is, Judas Ilgauskas is 7'3", and if he just puts his arms up, he's going to cast a long shadow.
Payton connecting on the float.
Well, that's one way to get over a shot blocker. You shoot the teardrop. Gary Payton has always had one of the best floaters in this league, and he gets one to drop there right when the shot clock expires.
So the Heat on top by 1 as they have scored the last 6. Murray, a repost to Ilgauskas. And a foul is called against Miami. Shandon Anderson picking up the foul, his first.
And it's interesting, they're going to Ilgauskas with this lineup on the floor. You see 5 Heat defenders really in the paint. This is the best outside shooting team Cleveland can put on the floor with Damon Jones, Donyell Marshall, and Flip Murray.
With Tim Legler, I'm Jim Durham. Welcome back to Cleveland. You know, the Cavaliers have had to play, well, this calendar year because it was on New Year's Eve when Larry Hughes went out with a broken finger, and then, I don't know, there were complications. He had to have surgery again, and he's just now about to return.
You know, it's a tough situation. He actually started this season with that injury, suffered it in training camp, tried to play through it, and it just got worse and worse. Finally had to get the surgery and shut it down, and they're hoping to get him back for the postseason. But I thought Larry Hughes might have been the biggest free agent signing in the league in the offseason for his ability to take the pressure off LeBron James.
2 fouls on Anderson. James delivers good on the free throw. 5 of 5. The other thing about LeBron James, here's a guy who's averaging about 43 minutes a game and hasn't missed a game.
Yeah, people talk
he's only
about
21.
He's 21 years old. And I think the minutes are so overblown when you talk about a guy that's 21, that's that athletic. LeBron James will have plenty of time to rest when he gets up into his 30s. That's a long ways off. Right now, I think you got to ride this guy as much as you can. And Mike Brown's always talking about his minutes, but he never seems to give him a break.
Marshall missing, but was fouled. So Donyell Marshall will get to the free throw line.
Derek Anderson, his second personal foul.
Derek Anderson called for the foul. That's his second. There's the numbers on LeBron James. You can see how they've gone up since his rookie year.
Yeah, and you can see, it's really wearing him down. The minutes have gone up 3, and the points have gone up 11. So you can tell the guy just doesn't have the gas to finish games in the fourth quarter. The minutes are more relevant when you talk about a veteran player, when you talk about a guy up in his mid-30s, or you talk about a guy that's dealt with injuries. LeBron James hasn't had any of those issues. So I think you're going to continue to see him out there in the mid to high 40s, and some nights in the playoffs, you're going to see this guy play all 48.
Donyell Marshall missing at the line, so the Heat now with a chance to get the lead. Plus, the more minutes he's on the floor, the less time he has to chew his fingernails.
I don't know what's lit. They might be nubs by now because this guy is just gnawing on those fingers every chance he gets to sit down.
Nice pitch out by James. Marshall on a 3. Shandon Anderson rebounds and outlets to Payton. Dwyane Wade just now coming off that Miami bench, ready to get back into the game. Doliak misses. Haslam keeps it alive for the Heat. And Anderson gives them the lead.
3 jump shots by Shandon Anderson. That's just a bonus. I mean, they bring this guy in because he's an athletic wing player at 6'6". LeBron James, the kind of guy you bring him in to defend. Now he's giving you a bonus offensively off the bench.
Flip Murray. LeBron James works away from the double team. He's down to 7 on the shot clock. Oh, nice by Murray.
Great quick. That's that slashing, scoring ability we talked about Flip Murray exhibited in Seattle. Remember, this was a guy that averaged 25 for a long stretch when Ray Allen was out of the lineup, so he can definitely put up numbers in bunches.
Derek Anderson on the miss. And the Cavaliers looking to regain the lead. 4:20 for the half. Murray trying to shake Udonis Haslem. And on the rebound, out of bounds to the Cavs with the fresh 24. And Pat Riley's got Wade coming back into the game.
Well, if you don't have Shaquille O'Neal on the floor getting all those touches in the low post, you're going to have to move the ball, get reversals, eventually lead to open looks. Cleveland is a team that still needs to get better defensively. I think that's how you attack a team like that. You make them communicate, make them rotate, move the basketball without that one dominant guy out there that you can just throw it into and make things happen.
Pat Riley also coming back with Jason Williams, so Wade and Williams back in the game. LeBron off the miss. Ilgauskas tips to keep it alive. LeBron James missing for a 3 out of the corner. A loose ball foul on Ilgauskas. 2 fouls on him.
Michael Doliak right that time breathing a sigh of relief, because that is a flat-out load to try to block out in Ilgauskas. You see LeBron James kind of snuck around the baseline, wanted that ball, called for it. Eric Snow found it, but it didn't quite go. And LeBron James has improved his three-point shooting dramatically since he's come into the league.
Here's Wade. And the rebound knocked out of bounds. Last touch by the Heat, so seems like we've been stuck on that 41 for a while. Eric Snow at the point for the Cavs. Wade defending. Murray guarded by Williams. Snow trying to slip through. 5 to shoot. Ilgauskas over Doliak. Derek Anderson with the Miami rebound. Minute and a half have gone by. Neither team has scored. The Cavaliers looking up now at a 10-point deficit. Donyell Marshall returning, and Zydrunas Ilgauskas goes out. Check this move by LeBron James.
Yeah, guys that size aren't supposed to be able to move that quickly. And Derek Anderson is a guy at about 6'6". Looking at a guy much bigger than him, but yet the guy's able to blow by you like that. That's a scary thought as a defender.
LeBron James, a perfect 6 for 6 from the line. 22 points for James. Damon Jones also in the lineup now for Cleveland.
Remember, LeBron James, 28 foul shot attempts in a game against Miami earlier this year.
Just 7 so far today, so that's definitely been something that Miami has had a focus on, keeping him off the line and out of the paint.
Williams sends it out to Wade. Wade over Snow. And James with the rebound. James around a Marshall screen. And LeBron works around a Verijan screen and nearly turned it over. A reset on the shot clock, and James at the rim was fouled. 2 shots coming.
It's not the way you draw it up. LeBron James had the ball initially working inside, lost it for a minute, able to regain control. And Miami couldn't save the ball. And got Michael Doliak back on his heels that time, able to get to the line.
That's the 4th foul on Doliak, as James, who hasn't missed today from the line, makes it 8 straight. Tomorrow, remember, on ABC, the Phoenix Suns and the Detroit Pistons at 12:30, followed by the Houston Rockets and the Los Angeles Lakers at 3:30, or Nuggets and Mavs. And then tomorrow night on NBA TV, the Heat playing at New Jersey at 6 o'clock Eastern. The doubleheader on TNT next week on Thursday, the Pistons and the Heat at 8, followed by the Lakers and the Nuggets. Back to a 6-point ball game after the Heat had opened up their biggest lead at 10. Antoine Walker finding Wade in the post. He draws the crowd. Wade slips through, and as he got along the baseline, his pass, there was a foul called. Snow called for the foul.
That time, Jim, Dwyane Wade, very patient in the low post, saw the double team coming. I think Eric Snow maybe relaxed for a minute because he knew he had help, but instead Wade spun away from the help, able to turn the corner in that baseline and draw the foul.
So perhaps we're going to end up with a free throw shooting contest the rest of the way today. Wade short to that first one. He has made 5 of 5, and Wade shoots 78% on the season.
Yeah, the thing that you just marvel at, a guy like Dwyane Wade and LeBron James, and even a guy like Allen Iverson, you know they're trying to get into the paint every possession. That's where they want to be. They want to live in there, yet despite the fact that every defense is geared to preventing that, you can't do it. That just speaks volumes about how athletic, quick, explosive, strong, every characteristic you have to have. These guys utilize all of it.
Wade missing both. As the foul was called on Udonis Haslem, that's James' first miss today from the free throw line. 9 out of 10. But the Cavs are back to within 4. 6 straight points for Cleveland. 3:36 left in the third. Wade against James. It's loose. It's still loose. And Verijan comes up with it. Swatted to the floor by Wade. Wade did that in anger because because he felt he was fouled initially by James.
Yeah, that's the first time we've seen LeBron James matched up on Dwyane Wade today. A little bit of a more physical body, bigger presence, and good old-fashioned wrestling match with this basketball. Anderson Ray's all to pick it up and draws the foul. Dwyane Wade comes in and prevents any opportunity for a three-point play, but you got to love the energy and effort of the two young superstars getting on the floor after that basketball, trying to make the little plays to help your team get a win.
Barajan making the first one. You saw in the replay there with LeBron James and Dwyane Wade where James reached out and grabbed his jersey going to the floor.
Had a nice hold of some Miami Heat jersey there, and that's the one area where LeBron James, I think, is continuing to show improvement as a leader. Take on the best defensive assignment that you can. We've seen him in the past not match up with the Kobe Bryants and Vince Carters of the world, the Dwyane Wades. He's going to do that, I think, down the stretch today.
Well, this game so far, in fact, just a moment ago, the legacy of LeBron James and Dwyane Wade on display. And Dwyane Wade spoke of that before the game.
You know, we know that we're in a position, you know, when guys like Shaq and Iverson and Kobe, all them guys who's been in the league a while, you know that we're the next in line. We're the young guys who everybody's talking about. So we just want to continue to keep the legacy going. And you know, I'm always, as long as we ain't playing against each other, I'm LeBron. I'm one of his biggest, you know, fans.
And what makes great players? Effort.
Well, you've got to set the tone for your team when you're a star player, and that's what Dwyane Wade and LeBron James do. And Dwyane Wade, here's the great hustle. Be easy for a guy after that effort diving for the ball to lay there and watch what happens at the end of that play, but Dwyane Wade gets back and prevents any possibility for a three-point play.
Or go to the official and start complaining about it. You know, he was upset that he didn't get the foul call as Walker delivers for the Heat. But he didn't say anything to the official until after he had hustled down and blocked that shot. Quiet crowd, but a big one here at the Q. Donyell Marshall cleared by Shandon Anderson.
That's going to be an important element to this team in the postseason. That three-point shooting of Donyell Marshall and Damon Jones is going to patiently waiting. He knew that cut was there for Varejao before Varejao even realized it was there. That's what we talked about, your vision and awareness. LeBron James isn't supposed to be able to do that at 21 years old.
Simeon, good free throw shooter, 90%. The 6'9" rookie will shoot one more with 47 seconds left in the third. Simeon puts the Heat back up by 5. Damon Jones starts it with LeBron, and Shandon Anderson is defending. LeBron James backs down, sends it out to Marshall. 5 on the shot clock. In deep, Barajan right at the rim, and a foul puts him on the line, shooting 2.
And you got to love Anderson Varejao right now with his activity in the paint.
Really, the only threat they have right now on the floor, if LeBron James isn't attacking off the dribble or posting up, is Varejao to do some damage in that lane, and he's very active right now, and the Cavaliers doing a great job of finding him.
Anderson Varejao making the free throw. He's 2 for 2 today. 8 points scored. Ira Newble ready to come on for the Cavs.
Entering the game for the Cleveland Cavaliers, number 14, Ira Newble.
And Wade gets back in there for Miami.
So one
Simeon
superstar
goes out.
down, so he won't pick up a foul the last shot, and another one comes in to get the last shot for Miami, Dwyane Wade.
Shot clock at 20, not quite one difference. And Wade beats the 8-second count. Newble defending. 8 to shoot. Here goes Wade. Cleared by Marshall. Time for the Cavs. Marshall from near midcourt.
At the end of 3 quarters of play, as the Miami
As the third quarter comes to an end,
Cleveland Cavaliers.
the Cleveland Cavaliers at one time down by 10. And the stage is set. Anybody's game going to the fourth.
And those two guys will have the biggest impact on the outcome of this game, but it's going to be interesting to see which role players step up and make shots when they need them.
So far today, Udonis Haslem has been big in that regard for the Heat. So the Heat in possession to start the fourth. Walker. Oh, nice.
That's what really has differentiated Antoine Walker since he's come into this league at 6'10". He can really handle that basketball and create that time for himself. But how many guys are contesting?
He's got 37. His season high is 42. Underneath Marshall, the shot blocked from behind, but a foul call.
You take a look right now, you see Miami back up 5, and LeBron James is pretty heated right now with the way the Cleveland Cavaliers are defending. You see Miami running pick and roll every time down the floor, and LeBron is being told to fight over the top. He can't get there. He's not getting enough help from his big men. And LeBron James is saying, I want to go underneath the pick and roll. Very upset with Mike Brown there as he was headed toward the sideline. We'll see if they make the adjustment now. LeBron James at 6'8", 260 is too big to be fighting over pick and rolls on the perimeter against a guy like Dwyane Wade. You want to force him to shoot the pull-up jump shot, but if you go over the top, he'll get to the paint every single time because Ilgauskas and Varejao and Donyell Marshall aren't quick enough to keep him in front.
Donyell Marshall on the free throw line for the Cavaliers with 5:35 left. You know, you saw the line there on Wade and on James. And so much of the game, Tim, we were talking about how, you know, they were handing the ball off and doing a good job of delivering the ball. Not now. They've taken over the scoring load.
That's what stars do. You know, role players help you get to the point where the outcome will be decided, but the stars are going to be the ones that decide this game. And LeBron James and Dwyane Wade know that. And they're going to be going mano to mano the last 5.5.
All right, here we go. Payton. Guarded by Murray. James stays and goes under the screen.
That's exactly what you have to do. He goes under.
Now he tried to go over.
That's how you go over and you see what happens. Dwyane Wade is going to continue to turn the corner if you chase him over that pick because he's coming off the screen looking at Varejao back on skates. There's no way he can contain him. The first pick and roll, he went under, and you see he's able to maintain control. Keep him in front, waiting for the pull-up jumper. Second time, goes over the top. Wade turns a corner, gets tripped. Miami gets another possession.
3 team fouls on the Cavs and 5 on Varejao as Wade gets inside again. And Payton wide open, missed on the 3-ball. Marshall clears. 5 minutes left. Damon Jones. James. Inside to Marshall. Tipped in by Varejao.
Varejau's giving them great minutes off the bench. A nice boost in double figures now, and he has really been active.
Bringing the Cavs to within 2. This is Wade shooting over LeBron James. And it's picked off by Varejao, and the Cavaliers now with a chance to tie. 4:30 left in the fourth.
Textbook defense on Wade that time. Force him to the pull-up jumper, hand up, hope he misses.
LeBron James against Payton. Marshall swoops to the hoop, and the game is tied.
Well, he might have lost confidence in his three-point shooting, but he certainly hasn't lost his aggressiveness in trying to score and make plays. And with that long reach, he's able to get to the rim and finish with the finger roll.
Timeout taken. 20,562 on their feet at the cue. A sprint to the finish with 4:07 left and a tie game.
So the book on Donyell Marshall is chase him off the three-point line, and they do that this time, but again, he's got great reach at 6'10", wingspan of a guy even bigger than that, and he's able to get there and finish, and he needed that basket for his confidence down the stretch because he's going to have more looks in this game.
Miami with Dwyane Wade controlling, and now it's Antoine Walker. 11 on the shot clock. Walker against Marshall. Walker to the rim with the left hand. cleared by Varejao. Looked like he got cracked in the head. The Cavs now with a chance at the lead. And LeBron James leaves it in the hands of Marshall. And the rebound tapped out by Anderson to Wade as the Heat control. Dwyane Wade needs 1 assist and 2 rebounds for a triple-double.
And Daniel Marshall continues to struggle with that outside shot, but he has found ways to make plays.
As Wade inbounds, he comes into Williams. Look at the line tonight for Wade and for James. Walker missing the 3. Cleveland ends up with a rebound with 30.6 left. A foul called on the Heat.
Eric Snow was trying to get a timeout before the foul was committed, but the whistle took place just prior to Snow getting that timeout.
And now the timeout is granted to the Cavs.
Substitutions back in the game.
And Marshall and Damon Jones will be coming back into the lineup for Cleveland. Well, this is just one of many Cavaliers games this year where they've been, especially since that win in Chicago out of the All-Star break, where they had blown a big lead, then came back to win. Well, today they were able to come back and looks like get them a victory again today. As LeBron James has had a triple-double. This is his 6th of the year. He has scored 45 points, and Dwyane Wade has been terrific too. He's at 44 and almost a triple-double.
A spectacular individual performance you'll see by 2 guys in the same game, and they've been going head-to-head almost the entire second half. LeBron James switched over to Dwyane Wade in the second half, so it really has been back and forth, one guy against the other. LeBron's got a little bit more help down the stretch with Daniel Marshall and Anderson Varejao making plays as well, but LeBron James has been spectacular.
You know, Varejao has actually played through much of this fourth quarter with 5 fouls, so he's still kept his aggressiveness at both ends of the floor, even though he's in serious foul trouble.
And you want to know why Eric Snow wanted to get that timeout prior to the foul when Varejao got that rebound, because he's a 47% foul shooter. And they wanted to get him off the floor, get Daniel Marshall back in.
30.6.
But fortunately, not in the penalty yet. So Varejao able now to step off the floor to get Daniel Marshall back in the game.
So the Cavs are out there with Ilgauskas, James, Marshall, Damon Jones, and Flip Murray to make the inbounds. Ilgauskas has it. He's fouled immediately by Haslam, but that's an 83% free throw shooter in Zydrunas Ilgauskas.
And the reason games like this are so important to Cleveland, they can finish this off, because that has been the area they've struggled in the last 2 seasons and parts of this year is finishing games. And LeBron has had issues a couple games this year with free throws down the stretch and decision-making, but lately during this streak, they're winning tight games. And it's not just LeBron James scoring, it's other guys making shots. And Ilgauskas misses the front end. Still hope here for the Miami Heat with 30 seconds. That's a lot of time.
And now Ira Newble is in. Marshall is out. Snow has checked in with Damon Jones out. Cavs are 18 of 30 from the foul line today, so they could have really locked this up long ago if they would have shot a little better from the free throw line. But they're up by 5 with less than 30. Here's Wade feeding Haslam. Peyton open for 3. Rebound tapped out. Walker a touch to Jason.
Really closed out well today, and that's an issue that this team has had the past couple seasons. Not so this spring. Cleveland right now proving they can win tough games against tough opponents. If they can do that a little bit on the road heading into the postseason, they're going to be a very dangerous team for anybody they play.
So Cleveland and Miami split the season series at 2 apiece.